I remember in elementary school, I saw this girl in the assembly that I thought was absolutely gorgeous. And one day she walked through the hallways and she had wet hair. And my goodness, did it turn me on. Well, Gibran was an appreciator of beauty. And he writes a chapter on it in his book, The Prophet, one of my spiritual guiding texts. Hopefully you enjoy this one. Every single one of these chapters has been formative in my life. And I thank one of my ex-girlfriends for actually giving me this book. On beauty. And a poet said, "Speak to us of beauty." And he answered, "Where shall you seek beauty, and how shall you find her, unless she herself be your way and your guide? And how shall you speak to her, of her, except she be the weaver of your speech?" The aggrieved and the injured say, "Beauty is kind and gentle. Like a young mother, half shy of her own glory, she walks among us." And the passionate say, "Nay, beauty is a thing of might and dread. Like the tempest, she shakes the earth beneath us and the sky above us." The tired and the weary say, "Beauty is of soft whisperings. She speaks in our spirit. Her voice yields to our silence like a faint light that quivers in fear of the shadow." But the restless say, "We have heard her shouting among the mountains." And with her cries came the sound of hooves and the beating of the wings and the roaring of lions. At night the watchmen of the city say, "Beauty shall rise with dawn from the east." And at noontide the toilers of the wayfarers say, "We have seen her leaning over the earth from the windows of the sunset." In winter, say the snowbound, "She shall come with the spring leaping upon the hills." And in the summer heart, the reapers say, "We have seen her dancing with the autumn leaves, and we saw a drift of snow in her hair." All these things have you said of beauty, yet in truth you speak not of her, but of needs unsatisfied. And beauty is not a need, but an ecstasy. It is not a mouth thirsting, nor an empty hand stretched forth, but rather a heart inflamed and a soul enchanted. It is not the image you would see, nor the song you would hear, but rather an image you see though you close your eyes, and a song you hear though you shut your ears. It is not the sap within the furrowed bark, nor the wing attached to a claw, but rather a garden forever in bloom, and a flock of angels forever in flight. People of Orphalese, beauty is life when life unveils her holy face. But you are life, and you are the veil. Beauty is eternity, gazing at itself in a mirror. But you are eternity, and you are the mirror. How'd you get so beautiful, huh? Oh, it reminds me of moments of serenity. Those moments that I sat alone next to rivers, or when I wait for my car to get filled with fuel, and I look out at new buildings rising up around Costco. It reminds me of those serene moments deep in the late nights when I'm inebriated and enjoying life. Or perhaps when I'm just breathing slowly in the morning, before perhaps I should be awake. It's lovely the way that he's conveyed this. Because in a sense, he couldn't have described it without showing us. And I think it's a beautiful lesson on storytelling, beautiful lesson on show, don't tell, on good writing. People of Orphalese, beauty is life when life unveils her holy face. Meaning unveiling, what does this mean? And he says later on, "But you are life, and you are the veil." which makes me believe he means to say, or another way of saying what he's saying, is that our perspective, our thought process, our philosophy actually determines the amount of beauty that we see in the world. There's been many times in my life where I have felt overwhelmed by emotion, to the point where it's not easy to think, particularly when I've been heartbroken or in love, perhaps angry, when I've said too much, that a slight change of perspective changes everything. You've had these moments, I'm sure. So why is it that we spend so little time trying to dwell in the beauty? Perhaps things become more beautiful when we allow the veil to mask life for a while. The contrast probably gives us a little bit more perspective, a little bit more appreciation. And as I sit in this room at 9 p.m. at night, maybe 10 now, and read you Khalil Gibran, and I look around at my paintings, for the first time I see beauty too. It is a veil, my friend. We are so hard on ourselves. And yet that judgment makes us better. The beautiful part of life, the contrast of things. So I implore you, when you see beauty in the world, when you see beauty in another soul, another human being, your pet, your bird, whatever it is, acknowledge that beauty. Feel that beauty. Show that beauty that you are appreciating it. Like I did the girl with the wet hair in the hallway. I should have stared at her longer, perhaps, like a little creep in 5th grade. But the reality is, we spend, as a society, I would say, very little time appreciating the little things. Very little time actually showing people that we appreciate them. To say thank you, to say good job, in earnest, with gusto, or energy in life. I've been told that I have a lot of vitality when I speak, by older people mostly. And I believe it comes from a realization that I am a catalyst. That when I sit in a room, though I want everyone to enjoy themselves, I also want to help them enjoy more. I want to help them enjoy life more. To perhaps show them the beauty in the little moments, the beauty in connection, differing perspectives, creativity, being a nerd. In a lot of ways, if you don't know me, it can be portrayed as selfish, narcissistic. But really, I am willing to make a fool out of myself for the beauty that is veiled all around me. I think it's important in all of our lives to realize that. To give it a little bit of change of perspective. The other piece of wisdom that I'll dish out here is, whenever I get stuck in my own head, whenever my world seems claustrophobic, and I'm sure many of you gone through anxious moments in life, or overwhelming thoughts, or repeating thoughts, the healthiest way for me to get out of it is to try to appreciate the beauty in the world around me, in nature. Trees in particular give me a lot of soothing. Birds, animals in general. Maybe not pets so much. I have some philosophies about pets that I'll share someday. But really getting outside of my head and appreciating things has helped me tremendously. The contrast to that is a place that I call the void. When it is so overwhelming, when I am almost incapable of seeing the beauty around me, I see the beauty in the void, a concept I picked up from The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. The void to me is the stillness, the peace of life. And I believe that we can find it if we decide, if we need that peace to go to sleep at night, or to quell our weary minds, our worrying thoughts. It's the reason the yogis tell us to meditate, and so many spend time taking ice baths. The void, my friend, is an incredibly powerful place. but so is the appreciation of everything that is outside of the void. I hope you found this interesting. Khalil Gibran's texts constantly bring me inspiration. And the fact that I get to read it for you, honestly, there is no greater pleasure on earth. Where shall you seek beauty, and how shall you find her, unless she herself be your way and your guide? And how shall you speak to her, except she be the weaver of your speech? Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Check out the last chapter that I did on this, and take care of yourself.